The iPhone 4. Is it still good in 2021? The iPhone 4 first went on sale on June 24th, 2010, making today its 11th anniversary. It was the iPhone with the longest lifespan, being sold new from Apple for almost 4 years, or even longer in certain developing countries. The reason that it had such a long lifespan is pretty simple. It's a great device, and it was pretty revolutionary at the time as well. It's one of the first phones to have a full glass back, and it was also the first iPhone to have an SoC, system on a chip, designed in-house by Apple, the A4 chip. By today's standards, it's admittedly not very fast. I'll give you an idea of the animations right here. Things do load, but there is a bit of delay. But I would say it's still pretty usable for simple games and basic web browsing and even watching videos. The screen resolution is quite low at 960 by 640 pixels, but because the screen is so small, that actually makes the pixel density quite good, comparable to modern phones. In fact, I believe it is exactly the same as phones such as the iPhone SE that came out just last year at 326 pixels per inch. Speaking of the screen size being small, I actually really like the form factor of the iPhone 4 because it means everything is very reachable. You can reach the whole screen just with your thumb holding it normally, and typing is very easy as well. The camera is another interesting aspect of this phone. The front-facing one, well, it's pretty bad, but the rear-facing one is pretty bad for video, but for still photos, it can on occasion actually take some pretty good pictures. So I'll show some examples of some pretty bad ones, especially the front-facing camera ones, but also I've got a few pretty good examples to show you as well. And these were all taken on the iPhone 4, believe it or not. Because the iPhone 4 only supports up to iOS 7.1.2, most new apps won't work on it, but there are still plenty of old apps that work great, and plenty of old games that are actually pretty fun. Another thing I'd like to talk about is the battery. At just 5.25 watt hours, it's pretty small compared to modern phones. The iPhone 12, for example, has about double that. But it's also not a very power-hungry device. It has a much smaller screen, and the SoC is really not that powerful, though it's not as power efficient as more modern designs either. Still, I think the battery life is pretty decent on it still. When I was using it, I usually got through a full day without really needing to charge, unless I was using it for pretty extended periods. So I think in that aspect it's actually quite useful as well. And because the battery is pretty small, it also charges pretty fast, even without special fast charging technology. Alright, now we're going to get into one of my favorite features. Can your phone do this, stand up, just by itself, without a case or anything else? Maybe. There are a few phones that can, but the iPhone 4 is probably the best one at doing it, just because of how blocky it is by nature. You can stand up on every single side, even what you might think of as upside down, like this. Though, that side definitely is the hardest to balance on. And, I mean, it can be kind of useful to prop that up like that to watch videos and that kind of thing. Alright, this last feature is probably one of the least known about the iPhone 4, but I think it's also one of the coolest. All that you need to do is take this expansion package for the iPhone 4, also known, it's sold separately also as the iPod Touch 4th generation, and you get some Apple proprietary adhesive strips. You just take a bit off like this. You can buy it directly from Apple on their store. And you simply apply it like this. And once you've done that, you've got yourself a dual screen iPhone 4. It's pretty sweet. Great for multitasking. You can watch a video on one, play a game on the other. Or you could even play games on both at the same time. So if we go here, you can get 2 games like Flappy Bird going at once. Have yourself a great time. And this also really helps in its ability to stand up. It can stand very well with this added support. You can shake the table a bit, it'll stay standing up. And just a really cool device. It'll impress your friends. So that's about all I have to say about the iPhone 4. 11 years later, still a great device. You might not want to use it every day just because you can't get all the newest apps, but I think it's pretty fun to mess around with. If you see it on eBay or something for 20 bucks, might be nice to grab one and just mess around with it. And thanks for watching the video. If I get a few more subscribers, I might make a few more subscriber specials. I know those are favorites, so yeah. See you all in the next video.